32 hours, 5.5 playthroughs, many vampires obliterated. Developer Flying Wild Hog's latest release is a doozy filled with enemies galore. After going for all the achievements in Midnight Fight Express and all the glitches that entailed, I thought to myself, hey, it would be nice to play a well-polished, well-made game with zero bugs that could at all hinder my journey of getting every single achievement. Let's try for Evil West. Well, I can't have anything nice in this world. I had another game with bugs preventing me from getting that coveted 1000 gamer score, so I'm gonna break it down for y'all. The easy, the hard, the ugly of this hunt. But before all that happens, I just wanted to say if you're enjoying the content I'm putting on this channel, please leave a like and subscribe with the notification bell on, as it really helps me out and motivates me to keep making content. And lastly, there was an issue with the audio that occurred while recording in OBS, since this was my first time using it. Live and learn, I guess. Okay. Here we go. There are a total of 29 achievements. An odd number, but hey, that's what it is. 11 of these are unmissable, and the other 18 are going to have to be attempted via repeat playthroughs and grinding. The repeat playthroughs have you playing on the hardest difficulty, which certainly turned out to be a massive pain in my side. Like massive, bulging, pulsating pain in my side. But enough with all that. Let's go over the achievements and how you can earn them just as I did, or in this case, how you should get them and not like I did. I started the game on normal difficulty so that I could enjoy the story, which opens up with our main man Jesse looking for a man named Chester Morgan. He blows up a train and apprehends him. Now, I'm not going to lie to you and pretend that I even paid attention to the story. This isn't God of War or anything near that, so we play through the first level with no trouble. We get the ability to smash people with the wrath of God into the dirt with the cannonball ability, and we earn our first weapon, the revolver, before moving on to the second level and earning our rifle. This would become my go-to weapon of choice due to the fact that it was accurate as hell, especially when you consider that these weak spots appear on enemies indicating that it's time to pop, lock, and blow their limbs off. After brutally destroying the cowboy vampires with our newly acquired rifle, we venture down into the underground where we get our first achievement in this 32-hour journey. Pointless Violence, which sees us performing 15 finishers. 1 down, 28 more to go, and we're about 45 minutes in. We make our way to the end of this level and end up running into some kind of vampire meeting and fight this big vampire bat, which at the time I thought was a boss, and I was like, okay, this is kind of dope, a boss battle on the second level, I'm here for this. Little did I know that this boss would become a recurring enemy throughout the game. Low-key kind of like that the mini bosses aren't one and done, and instead show up in a lot of levels to throw a wrench in the battle. Anyways, after ending Playboy Cardi's music career, we come to the third level and I'm thinking to myself, should I be collecting everything on my first playthrough? Nah, there's a new game plus. I'm sure everything will be fine and I can go back with zero problems and collect it all. Seeing the vampires having their own meeting inspired our cast of characters to have their own meeting too, because the humans can't be outdone by those savages, and much like how we ruined their meeting, they decided to ruin our meeting, and boy oh boy did they really show us how to ruin a meeting. After they destroy our plans, it comes down to losing our father, which leads to a story a little too close to home, looking for our dad. It's here we get our second achievement, In the Fields, for hitting 45 weak spots. You will get this no problem if you're trying to make this game easy because these stupid cowboys will unload their revolvers every 7 seconds if you let them walk all over you. During this catastrophe, Jesse earns this new piece of equipment called the Zapper, which in turn earns the abilities for us called the E-Combo, which essentially makes us feel like a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure character, because in this very same level we earn our next achievement, E-Rodeo, for killing 20 enemies using the E-Combo. What is the E-Combo? Well, it's only the move that allows you to yell while throwing rapid fire punches like a certain meme from a certain anime. We get this achievement at the end of the level, and now it's time for Jesse and the gang to skedaddle and try to make it to the little town called Calico. But first, they must survive the night while being chased by an army of unrelenting vampires. So in this next level we earn 3 more achievements. This one called Monster Ball for using the cannonball ability to absolutely dunk on some monsters. God, is it satisfying to use a guy as a dodgeball and beat a vampire with another vampire. It's all fun and games until I run into the next mini boss, which turns into a regular enemy. I hate shields, and let me tell you why. They slow the pace of a battle to a crawl. Now look at this guy. What is he holding? A fucking shield. Now what can I do to this enemy? Well, thanks to this newly acquired shotgun, I can blast away this shield and do some damage like I've always wanted to do. Any game that allows me to break a shield and not have to parry is already great in my book. Thank you developers for this glorious mechanic that more games need to implement. I love it. Moving on, the final counter of this level is where we get 2 more achievements. Spark of Hope and Mighty Mitten. Spark of Hope was given as an unmissable achievement for activating Supercharged mode for the first time. It's that simple, and this move would become necessary for the evil difficulty upon a repeat playthrough. The second achievement I got just for mashing the button around and zapping around the arena, blitzing vampires like I was in an anime, and I just got a power up. We complete this area and are rewarded with the Calico achievement for just getting to Calico. And if you need a guide for this achievement, then I don't think you should be playing this game. Onward to the next mission, which sees us to a desert area, which reminds me of where I live currently, and that's nice to be reminded of home. This is also where we get our first hidden perk chest, a collectible I am sure won't bite me in the ass for not collecting them all in the first playthrough. Fuck! At a certain point, I looked at this next enemy and thought to myself, wait a minute, they're really going to do this to me and introduce a new mini-boss only for them to disappear for a level or two and then come back as a regular enemy. This is good when you enjoy fighting enemies like Playboy Cardi, but bad when fighting guys such as this one. But alas, the hunt must go on, and speaking of hunt, we get the Chewing Volts achievement here. Using 15 energy charges was much easier when you're spamming the ground pound trying to get this naked mole rat to reveal himself. God, I hate enemies that slow the pace down. Level 7, Smoke and Mirrors, a mission that for some reason has the best OST track in the game and the worst small enemy of all time. Here we have to destroy these weird looking bubbles of blood, and that in turn allows us to destroy a piece of glass looking like wall. By the end of the level, we have officially made it to our first of 4 big bosses, the Parasiter. It's an easy by the books boss, but for some reason I had a lot of fun with it. The moves are varied enough to keep it fresh up until I got to the end of it. I beat it, and I was sitting there waiting for the glorious achievement notification to pop, but it never did. I said hell no, and went right back to that level and replayed it all over again, and instead of just killing him and getting that achievement called Ticks and Leeches, I decided to go for another one called Bio-Friendly, which meant I had to avoid killing the minions that spawn in throughout the fight. The easiest way I found to do this was to just destroy the sacks that these poor creatures spawn in. We would then find our way through 2 more levels, and the only thing they bring to the table are new mini-bosses turned enemies, both of which annoy me for different reasons. This wolf spider thing that shoots webs off its back, and this tentacle wall hugger that shoots a death ray and can cause a blinding effect if you don't shoot the weak spot before it gets off. This eventually leads us to the 10th mission called Bats in the Belfry. I'm just going to come right out and say it, I hate this level because it creeps me out with its atmosphere. Our big bad keeps humming and it's super unsettling and kept me on the edge. We meet Mr. Wallflower again, who has to just throw a wrench in the encounters and make me prioritize him before anyone else. It is at this point that your boy realizes that Comet Encounters just got super crazy with all these new enemies being introduced and all the new weapons and abilities that I am unlocking as it goes. After fighting our way through hordes of enemies, we meet the Brush, I'm calling it the Brush. A giant Groot looking thing that after defeating him gives us the Adapt or Die achievement. Let's fast forward because y'all get the formula now. We get to level 14 called A Son's Duty. Now I'm not going to spoil how or why this happens, but you gotta kill your dad for the Drop of Blood achievement. Sorry Pops, but it is what it is. Not only did I do that, but I will also do it in under 6 minutes, giving me the Father's Day achievement. The disrespect to Mr. Rentier is crazy. Okay. 15 missions in and I get the next achievement called Sever Forever, for tearing off 100 limbs from enemies. I'm not going to cap y'all, I have no idea what is considered for progress for this achievement. I'm pretty positive it has something to do with the finishers and Mr. Wallhugger getting his tentacles blown off and performing a shot in the weak spot, but other than that I couldn't tell you. My assumption is based on Jesse tearing literal bodies of enemies apart, so that's my logic. And before we knew it, we made it to the finale, where we would fight the big boss Felicity Deabano. Now in normal difficulty we could call this a cakewalk. The only hurdle was learning her pattern just enough to bull rush our way through and earn us 3 achievements for our hard fought effort. For all of this we unlocked Ancient Blood, Novice, and Adept. Ancient Blood for defeating the boss, and Novice and Adept for beating the game on Novice and normal difficulty respectively. So if you're following along with the counter in the corner, that's 17 achievements in one playthrough. Not bad, but as I mentioned earlier, the second playthrough is not where this journey ends. The other 12 achievements would be drip fed to me little by little. Now it's time to blast through some of these achievements in a rapid fire manner. I would boot up Evil difficulty on a New Game Plus save and go for my first 12 achievements called Slam Champion for slamming enemies 100 times. I never used this during my original playthrough because it wasn't the most damaging move and I wanted to beat the game as fast as possible to get my main achievements needed. I went through the game on Evil difficulty and it was business as usual. Not an overly hard or unfair game to beat on this difficulty, and this is where we earned Minor Deity and Weren't You Listening for beating both the Parasiter and the Brush on Evil difficulty. The latter of the two only gave me trouble when it unleashed its stupid cornstalk move, which could do a lot of damage if you're not careful. The only other non-difficulty related achievement I would get is Pew Pew Die, for killing 30 enemies with each electrically augmented firearm. What this means is that I had to deal the final blow with the electric version of the revolver, the rifle, the shotgun, the crossbow, the dynamite, and the Gatling gun. Each upgrade is cool, but more importantly for reasons coming up shortly, expensive. All these are simple to hit 30 with except the Gatling gun, which with the electric upgrade is called the Death Ray. It took forever to charge and wouldn't do enough damage with a half charge to kill more than one enemy at a time. Eventually this too did pop for me. Fast forwarding a bit, we then have to put Pops out of his misery again on Evil difficulty for the Then You Died achievement. Before reaching our last 2 difficulty achievements, Expert and Weird West Superhero, let me tell you, the final 2 levels suck on Evil difficulty. The arenas you fight in are crammed with enemies galore, and that led to me getting frustrated. Not as frustrated as when my game soft locked and I thought I had to restart the boss from the beginning, or worse, the game, because I've read that people have had the game lock and erase all of their progress. Rest in peace, fallen soldiers, I salute you. We wish you the best in your repeat playthroughs. Not me though, so I persevered and got my last 2 achievements. Now, it was time to clean up all the random ones like Bleed You Out for defeating the Brutch without letting it heal. I thought the healing process was tied to his weak spot, but it turns out it's tied to his clones. I just focused on the clones, and that led to the boss taking a little longer to beat, but when I did, it felt so great to never have to fight him again. Never again. The achievement that sounded hard in the description, but was actually simple because story difficulty exists, and thus Best the Beast was earned for defeating the final boss without using a heal button. Thankfully, after my many beatings I took during my evil encounter, I had little trouble with this one. 26 down, 3 more to go. So I then loaded up all the random levels I needed to get all the collectibles, and earned chestnuts for picking up all the cash, Field Agent for finding all the hidden perks, and Boys and Toys for unlocking all the weapons upgrades without a single hitch. Is what I would say if I wasn't a victim of the glitch that a lot of people are experiencing right now. For some godforsaken reason, the game doesn't recognize that you collected something if you don't get it on the first playthrough. Some people had this happen to them with varying degrees of severity. They either couldn't unlock one of the achievements, 2 of the achievements, or in the worst case, all 3 of the achievements, which meant they had to start all over on a fresh save, not New Game Plus, and collect them all again. I landed in the middle. I got the achievement for all the cash, but had to restart a fresh save on story difficulty to get all the perks. And if you're keeping track with me, that is 3 playthroughs. So why would I play through the game an extra 2.5 times? Well, my friends, money. You see, I found all the upgrades for my weapons, yes, but the achievement would tell me I needed to have them all activated at the same time. There is not enough money on a fresh playthrough to unlock everything, even when you take into consideration that you earn $2,000 for leveling up each time. So then I had to beat the game 2.5 more times, which meant that I had to fight the Brutch 2 more fucking times, which meant that I went insane. But finally, after all that, I completed the Odyssey and had gotten my 1000 gamer score of 29 achievements. I am so thankful it is all over. Now with that being said, if you would like to go for all the achievements yourself, I will leave a guide in the description for collectibles. The game is available for PC, the PlayStations, and the Xbox consoles. To see my breakdown of every single achievement in Midnight Fight Express, which took over 44 hours to complete, that video is here. Again, if y'all enjoyed the content, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. Much love.